It has finally arrived. It's day one of Cheltenham. Barry Doyle and myself, David Byrnes, are here to go through the 7 races on day one and hopefully find you some winners. What we want to do today is to get you to put in your 7 selections for day one. And if you have 2 winners or more in the comment section below, we're going to give some lucky person 2 tickets to the Boyle Sports Irish Grand National on Easter Monday. Barry Doyle, for you, Christmas Day has finally arrived in March.
It certainly has, and you have some selections as well, David, to throw into the mix. But yeah, we're going to rattle through it quick fire and look forward to previewing Cheltenham day one. It's going to be soft ground for the opening day of the festival, David, and of course rain right up until lunchtime, so it could be quite testing, and we're going to get right into it.
We're going to get right into it. The Supreme, Barry, where is the title going to reside this year?
It usually goes to Willie Mullins or, of course, Nicky Henderson. And I think that the forgotten one in here, David, the selection is Jericho the Reppin each way. And I just think he's gone out of fashion a little bit. Obviously, there was the talk of Ballyburn going to the Supreme. And, you know, Jericho the Reppin was the early favourite and he drifted out in price. But I just think at 15-2 each way, he looks a good bet to me to hit the frame. 3 from 3 for Nicky Henderson. He's unbeaten, as I mentioned. He acts on soft ground. 2 victories at Newbury, very fair track as well. I don't think you can argue with that form. And I think the British handicapper, on ratings, he shouldn't be winning this. 136 has been given by the British handicapper. But I think the British handicapper has been lenient with his ratings this season so far. And I like this horse. He jumps, he settles. And Nicky Henderson, he keeps talking up his novice hurdlers in particular. This lad could be the standout of his bunch. And look, if you can forgive the stable form, I think a strongly run Supreme on soft ground, he could hit the frame at 15-2. I want to take on the likes of Tully Hill and Mystical Power at the top of the market. I don't think Tully Hill jumps well enough. I think Mystical Power, maybe the ground would be a slight concern by Galileo, obviously, out of any power. Look, hooded for the first time. That's interesting. And Slade Steel, for me, I think needs further Firefox on a recovery mission. So those at the front end of the market I'm willing to take on. And I think Jericho the Reppin at 15-2 could be the each way bet.
Right, let's move on. The 210, the second race at Cheltenham. It is, of course, the Arkle Trophy. It's probably one of the most competitive races of the day. Barry, I'm going to shoot in here with a selection first. Gavin Cromwell's My Mate Mozzie. Go back, of course, 2 starts ago when he won at Cheltenham from Jetronic and Zarakan. Have a look back at the jumping he did on that occasion. He's 12-1. I think he's a cracking each way bet in a race that has plenty in with chances. JPR1 is another I like at a bigger price. Those at the top of the market. I might be shot later on this evening, but I can't have the favourite Gaelic Warrior. What do you think of the Arkle? For me, the 2 against the field, JPR1, but I'm pretty sweet on My Mate Mozzie at 12-1 for a cracking each way bet.
Well, he's raced twice, Gaelic Warrior, on the old course at Cheltenham. He's been beaten twice. And look, there's been plenty made of that. And obviously he jumps out to his right, but he just might be good enough to go and win a race like this on his best form. Look, however, he's on a recovery mission. He didn't run well last time at Leopardstown and got very worked up in the parade ring. That would be a slight concern for me. Look, on his best form, he's the one to beat. But I'm going to have 2 darts here on the exact same horse. I'm going to back each way in the without market in case Gaelic Warrior puts his best foot forward. JPR1 was the one I liked in the race, David, for an each way bet at 7-1 before we knew Gaelic Warrior was running. But I'm also going to chance him each way at 9-1. So I'm going to have 2 bets on JPR1, 11-2 each way in the without market, and 9-1 each way in the race itself. Because look, Gaelic Warrior, he could bomb out. You know, he's done that last time out. So that would be a slight concern going into a race like this. JPR1, I like him. You've mentioned him. Look, he's £20 better over fences than he is over hurdles. You know, rated 150 now. That his career best effort was last time out. He's a particularly good jumper, very athletic type. And Joe Tizard has said that this could be his best chance of a Cheltenham winner in years. And I think that speaks volumes. He's been talking this horse up. He's an athletic son of Court Cave. He'll stay well. And he was going to bolt up, David, on the old course back in November. And look, the subsequent winner came out and won a handicap, I think, of 1-3-9, I do believe, on Public last weekend. So, look, that form looked well, like it would have worked out well if he'd have won that well. And I just think he's the best in the British here. And I'm willing to take on Elete Tomp. I think he's too small. He doesn't have the scope for fences. Disappointed at Cheltenham last year. Hunter's Yarn. I don't know. He can put in the odd clanger of a jump. I'd be against him. And found a 50 in Quilixius. I'm not quite sure they'll be good enough. So for me, JPR1, I think he's open to more improvement. And against Gaelic Warrior at 9-1 each way, he's the play. And 11-2 in the each way without market.
As we record, just flashing up over my screen, heavy now in the description at Cheltenham, and a course inspection for the cross country is going to be for Wednesday. So that's very, very interesting. An inspection possibly for the cross country course on Wednesday. Right, let's move on. The Ultima, again, it's a cracking race here. So much talk about meeting at the waters, Barry. I'm going to stick with him. I know we've heard it's been flouted around, a Gold Cup horse and a handicap. You always hear this, but until they go and do it. But he has been purchased by JP McManus. He's a 6-1 joint favourite, roughly at the top of the market. But the one that really is catching on to plenty of support early doors on this Tuesday morning is Gordon Elliott's The Goffer. And there's plenty of reason to see why here, Barry.
Yeah, well, he's £2 lower than when he ran a cracker in the race last year. And obviously, he's been laid out for the race and won that charity race as well. I'm not sure how much credence you can place on that, but the race itself, or the Ultima last year, should I say, was an absolute cracker with the likes of Faster Slow finishing second. The winner was Corach Grambler, went on to win again then at Aintree in the Grand National. So both of those, I think, are lively each way players for the Gold Cup. Certainly this upcoming Friday, and look, that's probably the best form on offer as the Goffers running the race last year. But for me, we've all been caught, look, off 134. The Twiston Davis team have been very, very bullish about this horse, and he gets in. I didn't think he would get in, David. And off 134, he's a pound lower over fences than his hurdles mark. He's plenty of course experience. Look, he's been to Cheltenham 6 times in the past. Always seems to run a good race there, and was 7th in the Albert Bartlett last year in a Grade 1 over hurdles. So I just think he brings decent form. He jumped well on his 3 starts over fences. Obviously followed home Broadway Boy and Flooring Porter on his first start at Cheltenham on this exact old course. So look, I just think he could be dangerous carrying just 10 stone 9. You mentioned heavy ground. Look at this horse's action and look at his way of going. He's a big strapping chaser. I couldn't see the ground conditions being any trouble to him. And I thought at 8-1, he was the one for me each way in the Ultima, the handicap chase. But I would give a positive mention to Trelawn for Kim Bailey, one of 2 runners in the race for him.
And of course, the bookie of Harry Cobden is going to be no disadvantage to him. Right, the Champion Hurdle, very simple. Statement, Barry, we both agree.
Move on, and I couldn't find a bet against them or the without market. No, Statement wins.
Yeah, just keep an eye maybe on the bet, and the one market I would advise people to have a play on is the distance betting specials on that. I think anything over the 5 lengths today, I do think Statement's going to be that impressive. I think he's going to win. So on the over market, if you want to bet the Champion Hurdle, that would be my advice today. Right, let's move on. The Close Brothers Mares Hurdle again, Barry. We don't have a lot to say, do we, on this? Is this very straightforward? Lossiemouth 13-8 on to beat stablemate Ashroad Diamond to fill the second spot. Maybe she's a cracking each way bet now in around the 13-2 with our betting partners, Boyle Sports.
Well, listen, I think Lossiemouth, if anyone wants to get involved in the double, I think it pays over even money. Statement and Lossiemouth wouldn't be for me, but I think that'll be popular today. I think she'll win. I think she's the first leg of my banker treble of the week with Factifile and El Fabiola. Those 3, I think, will all I think that they'll all win, David. So I think she's an absolutely exceptional mare. I think Willie's given her plenty of time. The one maybe in the without market is Lady Lantry. We were down at Gorham Park course on Red Mills Day, and she won the Red Mills Hurdle, and obviously she'd been off the track for quite some time, but she's unbeaten. She's 2 from 2 now from Henry. Both wins at Gorham Park, and will have no issue on heavy ground. So I think that's her forte. She's 6-1 in the without market. Maybe each way in that market. I think a couple of those British mares, the likes of Love Envy, ran a cracker in the race last year. It's her last start on the race course. She's been, I think, disappointing. Has she fallen out of love with the game this season? Perhaps the likes of You Wear It Well. They've been disappointing, those English mares. The Irish team seem to do well in the race, and the Henry factor as well. She could run well. She could outrun her odds. I think she's 14-1 each way, or 6-1 in the without market each way. She'd be my play in the race.
The Boodles is an intriguing race. I think Gordon Elliott can win the Boodles with Ndawi, who was a last time out winner and a very good winner as well at Nace. And the going is not going to be a problem for Ndawi in around the 9-1 mark. I know you are sweet on Paul Nichols's Liari, but elsewhere, it looks for me the winner of this could come from the top 5 or 6 in the betting. What do you make of it?
Well, I think it could come from the top 5 or 6 actually on the card. I think those towards the front end of the weights have done well in recent seasons. 3 of the last 5 winners, David, of the Boodles have carried 11 stone 7 or more. I like this horse, Liari. I think Paul Nichols on another year might have went the Triumph route, but obviously you have the likes of Sergino. Willie Mullins has done so well in the Triumph in recent seasons. He's a big, strong strong animal. Paul Nicholls has won the Boodles on 3 occasions in the past. And look, I don't think the ground is going to be an issue to him either. He's proven on heavy ground at Aintree. He seems versatile. He was a winner on good ground over a mile and 2, David, in France earlier on in his career. But I like Liari, and I think, look, Paul Nicholls is flying it at the moment, 36% strike rate. I think Harry Cobden has a good book of rides, not just with Paul Nicholls, but right throughout the course of the week. Obviously, you mentioned Treylon. Theatreman, I think, has a big chance in the plate on Thursday. This horse will travel well. He'll jump well. He'll be on the front end. And he might just be good enough to go and win this at 8-1 off top weight. So Liari for me. Down towards the bottom, obviously coming in off the back of a victory. I think it's fair to mention Will Durkin's horse, Eagle Fang. That's Naas 4-year-old hurdle back in February. Seems to throw up pointers to the Boodles every single season. 4 of the last 6 Boodles winner have actually come from that exact Naas 4-year-old hurdle back in February. The ground, again, not going to be an issue to him. He looks progressive, son of Free Eagle, jumps nicely, and he could be on an upward curve. He's 16-1. I'm going to have 2 darts in the race, David, each way. Eagle Fang 16s, and obviously my main hope, Liari 8-1 each way. I think he'll hit the frame.
Yeah, I think Gordon's horse will be very hard beat in that, but let's see how it goes. Final race is just the 7 runners for the Maureen Mullins National Hunt Challenge Cup, and Emmett Mullins and Willie Mullins, they've got the top 2 in the market here. Corbett's Cross 9-4 this morning, Embassy Gardens 2-1 under Patrick Mullins.
Yeah, I'd be against both of them, David. I know you were kind of sweet enough on Corbett's Cross early on in the week. Look, I don't think he jumps well enough, and he has to prove his stamina. Embassy Gardens has been to the festival last year and completely bombed out. I think if you're to look at the 2 of them, and for a race like this, Embassy Gardens, a gorgeous looking horse, jumps particularly well. He's improved for a fence, but I just take the 2 of them on here, and Salvador Ziggy looks well in on ratings, David, 153. He's the top rated. He's been laid out for the race. Obviously, Gordon has mentioned he probably would have liked nicer ground for him, but I'd say he's versatile enough. He was second in the Pertemps last year when kept fresh for the race on soft ground. And as I said, he'll stay the trip. And Gordon is going for a 6th win in the race. So at 11-2, it had Salvador Ziggy. We saw it last year with Chemical Energy, and they said he was dependent on nice ground, but he ran an absolute cracker in the race on soft ground. He was second in the Kerry National, and I thought that was a serious effort. So Salvador Ziggy at 11-2, but don't rule out a massive run for Mr. Van Gogh. He loved the ground conditions, and he won by 60 lengths plus in the Devon National. He could be outrun his odds at 18-1.
Right, Barry, that's day 1 done and dusted. To you out there, remember, put in your selections for all 7 races in the comment section below. And for those who have 2 winners or more, we're going to put you into a draw to give you a chance to go to the Boyle Sports Irish Grand National at Fairyhouse. It is day 1 at Cheltenham. We can't wait, and I'm sure you can't wait. Enjoy the action. Thanks, Barry.
Grangy and Patrick Mullins.
McGree has justified favouritism, but sharp object out in front, ready for John McConnell and Alex Harvey.